Hello everyone, welcome to this week's edition of the Foolish Fish News with all your updates on esoteric books and art and paraphernalia and events. And we're starting this week with an update from Anathema Publishing, who have released this really nice mock-up of their artisanal edition of the Rod and the Ring, which apparently is going to be available very, very soon. So apparently, so they're saying that it's an imminent arrival. They're expecting the books to arrive any minute now and to start shipping those very, very soon. Of course, European customers will need to wait a little bit longer as those books are shipped over from Canada. But that's where we're getting close now, and that artisanal edition looks really, really nice. I really like the design. I think that's going to be quite gorgeous. They've got this really nice description of exactly what this tablet is down in the description over here. The blind deboss on the cover. Historically engraved stone tablet with the hymn to Inanna. So you can find out more about that in their post. Moving on to Three Hands Press. The Witch's Cabinet is their latest book on pre-order by Corinne Boyer, and it looks very interesting. It's a book on the left-hand green path, so the more sinister, that is left-hand, and malefic uses of plants. It looks certainly very interesting. 192 pages, and there are 3 different formats to choose from: the trade paperback, the standard hardcover, and the deluxe edition. Of course, the prices varying widely, as probably as expected, although the hardcover is not super expensive at $44.95. That's actually quite a reasonable price for a hardcover from a small publisher like Three Hands Press. Moving on to Damien Eccles, who has announced his next book, but it's we're going to have to wait a little bit. April 26th, 2022. It seems like a really nice topic for a book. Ritual in Essential Grimoire, which he's written in collaboration with Laurie Davis. Now, I don't know Laurie Davis. I should probably check whoever that is out, a new book from Damien Eccles is always a big event, and so looking forward to that. And moving on to Uncrossing, Identify, Cleanse and Heal from Hexes, Curses and Psychic Attack. This was released just this week. Looks like a very interesting book. It's Katrina Rasbold writing this. I think that there is definitely a gap in the market for uncrossing or books dealing specifically with uncrossing and cleansing and healing. So I think that's a really nice, interesting thing, and it's available both in paperback and in a Kindle edition for very similar prices, as you can see. I will let you read that full description in your own time if that seems interesting to you. It was just released just a few days ago from Llewellyn Publications. There we are. Moving on to a publishing endeavor, I'm going to say, that I hadn't heard of. Absinthe Publishing seems like an artisanal, or rather a handmade endeavor. There are quite a few titles here, so some which will be very familiar. Of course, as you might expect, a lot of this is simply in the public domain. And so they are really nice covers for public domain material. if you can have a look at the Key of Solomon, the King. They are laminated bindings, but they seem to be quite nicely bound. Yeah, there might be something that you are curious about. I can't recommend directly, since I haven't actually held one in my hands and seen what the quality is directly. But I certainly like their designs. I think that some nice work has been put into the cover design, and if you're looking for a mid-market version of the books, then this could be your choice. Moving on to Nick Farrell, who has announced his latest book, Star and Stone, a manual of modern astrological geomancy. This sounds quite curious. I've not been able to find any further information on this, since this is just an announcement on its way. As you can see there, it's very cryptic, very mysterious. But yeah, the idea of astrological geomancy sounds, well, at least curious to me. I'm interested to see what kind of take Nick Farrell has on the traditional art of or practice of geomancy, incorporating astrology. Maybe something interesting. Atramentus Press teased something kind of that made me smile. They ask, we all have our preferences and tastes, which would be yours? And they kind of juxtaposed their, I don't know, is this a teaser for an upcoming tarot deck? The Tarotology of the Crooked Path, of course, with Carolyn Hamilton's recognizable art style there, just placed directly next to Llewellyn's Yuletide Tarot, which seems very very quaint in comparison, I suppose. If this is a teaser for an upcoming tarot, then I'm very interested. Carolyn's art is really beautiful. If you've picked up any of Atramentus Press's books previously, then you will know that this is the case. Their latest Book of the Black Dragon and Codex Altaban Malik they're both full of her art, and yeah, I think it could be a really nice deck if that is in fact what they're teasing. Would be nice. Moving on to Ape of Trismegistos. So Solomon the Sorcerer, thank you so much. I think otherwise known as Brent, possibly on YouTube. So thank you so much. In fact, I misattributed one of the Etsy discoveries last week, actually to a different member, but it was also Solomon the Sorcerer. So thank you very much for pointing these out to us. And we are looking here at some interesting ingredients for use in ritual. There are some very nice engraved stones. Prices are steep on some of the items, but the materials, I suppose, are more or less within the kind of price range that you might expect. Yeah, but as you can see, some very cool stuff here. Very nice. Okay, moving on to an event announced by Watkins Books. Stephen Skinner, this is going to be a live event. Aleister Crowley's 4 Books of Magic, which I told you about, was it last week? Maybe 2 weeks ago. I think it was last week. Stephen Skinner's next book is going to be released via Watkins Publishing, and yeah, we're invited to attend either in person or via Zoom usually. But it's really nice to see them coming back to their usual way, right? They've always done in-person events. So that's very, very cool. There we are. And finally, my board game of the week is this Bristol 1350. Now, this is Facade Games, who have been making a few of these games that come in a box that looks like an old book, and I think that's really, really nice. If I just scroll down to show you some of their previous works, there we've got Salem, we've got Tortuga, Deadwood, and Bristol, and yeah, they've got lots of interesting settings, historical settings, based on maybe darker sides of history, or at least curious sides of history. This one is about the plague. It's a social deduction game, and it looks like a rather new take on the social deduction game. So that could be interesting. The rules look very interesting. Check out their video over here, and yeah, if you like social deduction games, you usually need larger groups of people for those, but they're usually a lot of fun, where you have to work out who's lying and who's actually got the plague, and who hasn't got the plague, and who's trying to get into the cart with the plague, and so on and so forth. So seems like an interesting take. Anyway, there we are. That's the news from me for today. Thank you so much for joining. Don't forget to leave a like. It always really helps the whole channel. And subscribe down below if you haven't done so already. And if you have subscribed, please remember to click the little bell next to the subscribed button, which just makes sure that my videos get shown on your home page a little bit more often than if you don't click the bell. That's basically what that does. All the details on how to join the membership are in the description down below also, and of course check out all the links to all the stuff that I've just been showing you down in the description. Take care, see you very soon with another video, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.